Hello everyone. By looking at the objects on the screen, you might be able to recall something that you have learned in class 3. Yes, about the probability. What are some of the probability words that you have already learned? Let us recall it. If something has no chance to happen, it's not going to happen at all, we call it impossible. Then, if something is sure to happen, 100% sure that it's going to happen, we call it, yes, of course, certain. If something has some chances to happen, then we call it possible. Now, possible can be divided again. If it has less chance to happen, we call it unlikely. If it has more chance to happen, we call it likely. Let us look at some examples. Describe the probability of each result when you roll a die once using the probability word. What is the probability you will get a number 6 on the top when you roll a die? So there is only one 6 from the 6 sides the dice has. So the probability is less. Therefore, unlikely. Very good. What is the probability you will get a number greater than 1 on the top? So which are the numbers greater than 1 that is on the dice? They are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They are all greater than 1. So you have more chance to get. So what is the probability what you can use? Yes, you're right. Likely. Are you sure you thought it as likely? If yes, very good. What is the probability you'll get number 7 on the top? Give a guess. Yes, if you have thought it as impossible, then you are correct because dice has only 6 sides and it has no 7 on the dice. So it is impossible. Next, what is the probability you will get a number less than 7 on the top? Which are the number that is less than 7 that is in the dice? Yes, all the numbers on the dice are less than 7. Therefore, the probability word that you can use is certain. If you have thought of certain, good. Now let us another example. Let us see another example with Abboktur. Do you like Abboktur? Abboktur spun the 4-colored spinner 20 times. He got this result. How many times did he get red? Yes, 7 times out of 20 because he spun the spinner 20 times. Now this 7 times out of 20 can also be written in the form of a fraction. 7 over 20. How many times is half of 20? 10 times out of 20 is half. That means 10 over 20 is equal to half. They are equivalent. Now let us see. Did he get red less than or more than half a times? 7 times is less than half of 20 or more than half of 20. 7 over 20 is less than half because 7 is less than 10. How about blue? Did he get less than or more than half of? a chance. He got 11 times blue, which is more than 10, and 10 is the half of 20. Therefore, he got the blues. 11 out of 20 is more than half. Now, let us compare these fractions with probability line. This is a probability line. And probability is always from 0 to 1 full chance. If a probability of an event is 0, it is impossible, never happens. If the probability of an event is close to 0, very near to 0, very less chance, then we call it very unlikely. If it is close to half, but still less than half, it is unlikely. If it is exactly half of the chance, then we call it as likely to happen as not to happen. For example, if we toss a coin, a chance of getting a head or a tail in a coin is equal, 50-50 chance. So we call it as likely to happen as not to happen. If it is closer to half, but more than half, then we call it likely. If it is less than half, unlikely. If it is more than half, likely. If it is close to 1, and it is very likely. If the probability of event is 1, that means full chance, 20 out of 20, or if it is 10 out of 10 or 5 out of 5, then we call it certain, which is always happen. Let us look back at this example. What is the probability word used to get red? So for this, we divide this probability line into 20 parts because Abbokto spun it 20 times. If he has spun it only 10 times, we can divide it into 10 parts. So divide it into 20 parts. Now where does the red fall? 7th part, 7 out of 20. So it is less than half but still near to half. So it is unlikely. How about green? Only one time. Out of 20 times, only one time. Very near to 0. Therefore, it is very unlikely. Blue? 11 out of 20. More than half. Because 11 is more than 10. Then, therefore, but still it is near to half. So, likely. Orange? Again, just 1 out of 20. So, very unlikely. Let us summarize what we have learned. Probability is about describing how likely or unlikely an event will happen. Likely, unlikely, certain, possible, and impossible are some of the special words used to describe the probability of some situations. We also use fraction to describe the probability. So therefore, what you have learned today is actually using fraction to describe probability. Now, you can look at some examples in your textbook and self-instruction materials and you'll learn more. For more details, you can contact your teacher.